What's going on, everybody? This is Brian from SneakerFiles.com, recapping the news, and before I jump into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up, and if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. Like always, we got a lot to cover, but first, if you haven't checked out my video on the Air Jordan 1 High 85 Bred, I'll put a link in the description below. I dropped that on Monday. I feel like it's a pretty good video. I went over a rant about the shoes, I went over some additional details, and things like that. Now, as for some of the highlights in this video, we have a first look at the Infinite Archives Air Jordan 17 Low in one of the colorways. As well, we have new photos of the Air Jordan 11 Low Bred, and Jordan Brand is dropping the Air Jordan 3 Realtree Camo during the holiday 2025 season. Now, I go over those three later on in the video, but there's a ton more from Jordan Brand. Also in this video is a lot from Nike. And now, let's jump into the news. Starting off with Nike, we're going to run down a few new release dates or recently announced release dates. And the first pair is the Nike Air 180 in University Blue and Hyper Pink. Now, this is a pair that I personally really like, and I was pretty happy to see that it finally had a release date. Now, the official colorway on these is University Blue, Hyper Pink, and Deep Royal Blue, hence the nickname. The pair features blue suede across the overlays with deep royal blue neoprene mesh on the base. Now, allowing this pair to pop, hyper pink accents land on the leather swoosh, tongue branding, TPU heel counter, and embroidered Nike Air logo on the heel. The insoles and liner also feature pink and royal blue, which also covers the midsole. Overall, these are dope, but in my opinion, more than likely they're going to go on sale, but if you're interested in buying, they'll be available on the Sneakers app on January 30th for $150. Finish Line and I believe JD Sports released the Nike Air Tech Challenge 2 in Racer Pink early, or at least that was when they were allowed to drop them. But if you missed out, well, to be fair, I don't even know if they sold out. I rushed and grabbed a pair myself, but if you missed out, they will drop on the Sneakers app. I recently did a short video of these, so if you want to check that out, there will be a link in the description below. And in hand, these are really, really nice in my opinion. The shape is really good, and what's different compared to the Hot Lava pair is that the upper is actually white and it's not an aged makeover. Yes, this shoe does have aged detailing on the eyelets and on the midsole, but as for the upper, it's a true white. And also, this is an OG colorway. When they first dropped in 1990, they were a women's exclusive, but now when they drop, they're going to be in men's sizing. And these are going to be available on January 31st via the Sneakers app, and the retail price will be $150. So today is the big day for those who are waiting for the Nike Air Diamond Turf Atlanta Falcons. Now, the reason I'm talking about this now, even though they released today and they would have dropped before this video goes live, is just to say, and I'm sure everybody knows this, that the release date is January 24th. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because so many outlets continue to have the February 12th release date, which I did initially put out months ago, and that was the plan, but I did announce to you guys that the shoes were moved forward and now they're going to drop on January 24th. A lot of you, a good amount of you at least, were asking me, are you sure? Because all these websites are saying February 12th, and I had to say, yeah, it's January 24th, and only 2 to 3 days before the release date, maybe 4, they finally popped up on the Sneakers app. So that will be one destination, obviously, you can get them at today, but that will be the place that they sell out the fastest. Now, these are going to be available only at boutiques. I know Sneaker Politics will have them and a few other spots. Now, there's one location that I'm good with that are supposed to get these, but they haven't got their shipment in. So those are going to be late. Now, I need to ask him if they're going to be released online, because typically what they do is that they offer them in store first for an hour or so, and then they drop them online. So in the case that they are going to offer them online, I'm going to have him send me the link, and then I'm going to post it out on Twitter. I wish I had a different way where I could only share it with you guys here. I know there's membership perks and people could sign up for that, but I wish there was a way where I could only share it, with you guys here. The only way I know how is on Twitter. So they're retail, of course. They're not a resale shop. It's a retail location. So if you do have Twitter, make sure to follow me. I'll be tweeting that out if they do drop online, which I think they're going to, because they told me that they're going to have a lot of pairs. So if you miss out on any other locations, that could be another chance for you to purchase. But yeah, just wanted to say good luck to everybody. Today would be the day that they dropped, actually earlier in the day, and the retail price, I'm sure as most of you know, is $150. Alright, so now that we have the new release dates out of the way, I'm going to cover some upcoming sneakers, and one of the pairs we have is the Nike Air Max 90 Camo in University Gold. Now, this is part of the upcoming camo pack. There's multiple pairs. I believe I showcased another pair on the channel. It was in green, and this pair has a similar theme. Now, the official colorway on these is black, University Gold, Parachute Beige, Medium Olive, and Phantom. I hope you guys do like camouflage because it seems that Nike and even Jordan brand are going to drop shoes with camouflage detailing, more that is, which another pair I'll talk about later on in the video. But the pair comes constructed with the signature mesh and synthetic materials. Now, the highlight of the shoe is the camouflage detailing on the mudguard, eye stays, and tongue, which of course mixes the shades of green, brown, and black. We also have University Gold, which lands on the tongue label, eyelets, the Air Max plate, around the air unit and heel, and then finishing the look is a white midsole and a black rubber outsole. So this is another pair that is helping celebrate the 35th anniversary of the Air Max 90. And this pair is going to drop spring 2025, so they should be coming soon. And the retail price will be $160. Alright, so we got a quick update on the Travis Scott Nike Zoom Fill Jaxx in light chocolate. Now, this pair has had several release dates. Initially, they were supposed to drop in the holiday 2024 season, and then I heard December. That obviously didn't happen, but they were delayed until January 17th. Now, we're past January 17th. And the shoes obviously have been delayed again. Now, there's some rumors going around about this pair, and I wanted to address it. So, there's a possibility that they could drop on January 31st. I believe there's a few overseas release calendars that have this pair listed for January 31st. However, for the most part, what I'm hearing is that the release more than likely will take place in February. Now, I should be doing another sneaker news video before February rolls around or even January 31st. So, once there's a concrete release date, I definitely will make sure to let you guys know, but I did want to give you the heads up that expect a release date to officially be announced very soon, and the retail price is $170. We have on-feet photos of the Nike SB Dunk Low Black History Month, and it appears that we have the true inspiration behind the shoe. Now, initially I heard that the inspiration was African gems due to tourmaline, which is the shade used on the upper. However, with these new images and some of the details that it comes with, it appears that this pair is inspired by black rodeos. Now, doing a little bit of digging, there was a movie that was released back in 1921 called The Bulldogger, which starred Bill Pickett, and he's credited for inventing bulldogging or steer wrestling. The movie cover somewhat is similar to the color blocking used on the shoe. Now, the green isn't as vibrant, but then again, this is a movie poster from 1921 that I'm sure was digitally scanned, so it could have lost some of its vibrancy. But I will include the movie poster so you can see what I'm talking about. And overall, the color blocking somewhat does match up. Now, that's way different from the original rumored of being called Shinron. But this pair comes highlighted with green suede on the upper, and it also has unique designs on the lateral side. Now, I believe those type of designs are seen on rodeos apparel or even their boots. I'll be honest, I don't know much about rodeos. Now, they also come with rope laces, which is inspired by lasso rope, and the Nike branding on the heel is also in the shape of a lasso. Now, the overall color theme matches up to the movie poster. We also have a star on the heel, and the insoles, they're done in all yellow, and it has a man which appears to be riding a horse, and on the other insole, we have bulls in the background. Now, the pair will also come with a second set of laces in green, and they come with a handkerchief. So the handkerchief is just like the insoles, and there's a quote on the bottom which reads, "What's going to happen is going to happen." Now, I googled that phrase and tried to connect it with Bill Pickett or even the Bulldogger, and nothing came up. So I'm not sure if that quote is connected in any way, shape, or form, or if it's just a random quote that Nike SB put on the handkerchief. But anyways, these are really dope. It's definitely a different theme. Anyways, this pair is expected to drop in February, and the retail price will be $135. Arts and Rec will have 2 collaborations dropping with Nike skateboarding in the fall of 2025. So those 2 collaborations will be on the Nike SB Dunk Low and the Nike SB Air Trainer 1. The Air Trainer 1 is a really dope shoe, and I'm glad to see Nike Skateboarding releasing more pairs. Now, just a heads up, the images used are just mock-ups. They're an all-white shoe. I have no idea what they're going to look like, but we do have a little bit of details. But before I get to those, but for those who don't know, Arts and Rec is a skate shop created by pro skateboarder Kellen James. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And it was founded in 2018. And the boutique blends skateboarding, music, and sneaker culture. Now, I visited their website, and they have a lot more stuff than just skateboarding. They actually sell Nikes and Jordans as well. I saw the Black Cement 3s on there and some other stuff. And as for the little bit of details that we have, as for the Nike SB Dunk Low, that pair will feature a khaki, amber brown, rough green, rust pink, black, and cell colorway. Now, the Air Trainer 1, this one isn't in all white, but this is, again, a mock-up. Not even a mock-up, but it's more of like a grayed out silhouette. I believe this is the chlorophyll colorway that's just grayed out. I don't remember what I did. But this one will feature a limestone, pink quartz, earth, dusty peach, black, and desert sand colorway. Other than that, we really don't have much more information. Both will drop fall 2025, which means a release will take place between July and September. The retail price for the Nike SB Air Trainer 1 is $160. And the SB Dunk Low will cost $135. Official images popped up of the Nike Air Flightposite 1 in black. So for fans of this model, I have good news and bad news. The good news is it'll be closer to OG. Now, what I mean by that is you guys might remember that there were sample photos that popped up of the 2025 pair, and it was a little bit different compared to the OG. The OG came in all black. Now, the sample pair had white outlining the swoosh on the lateral side that somewhat covers the shroud. That also filled in the swoosh on the heel, but as you can see from the official photos, they're all blacked out. So these are just like the OGs. Now, for the bad part, they're not quite like the OGs. They still haven't fixed the midsole, or I should say the outsole, on the medial side that comes up. It's very low. And I don't see Nike ever fixing this. Well, maybe eventually, but I think personally that looks really ugly in my opinion, how low it is. They should make them true to OG, but in about 4 or 5 years, maybe this will be Nike's way of bringing them back, saying, hey, now we made them true to OG. Everybody can buy them again. I don't know. I missed out on the green pair, and they're reselling for quite a bit, so I'm just going to pass on those and wait until they drop in price. That's the pair I really want. That's the one I had in high school. This pair, I want them, and I plan on buying them, but I have to get the gold or green pair, whatever you want to call it, first before actually buying these. Now, until they fix the medial side of the outsole, I'm only going to be picking up OG colorways. They do have other new colorways on the horizon, but those ones I'm going to pass on until they fix the outsole. But anyways, as for a release date, we don't have one. They're expected to drop spring 2025, so we could be seeing them release soon, and the retail price will be $240. I know a lot of people are waiting for the release date for the Galaxy Nike Air Foamposite 1, and I'm waiting for it myself, but Nike Sportswear will release more colorways of the Nike Air Foamposite 1 in 2025, and for the holiday 2025 season, we have the dark smoke gray iteration dropping. Now, shown is a mock-up, however, you can expect the release to look just like this. So the official colorway on these is black, black, and dark smoke gray. Now, the pair will feature black across the Foamposite shell, and then dark smoke gray will be placed on the eye stays where the suede is. It'll also wrap around the heel and fill in the laces. So basically it's an all black shoe. There's a little bit of contrast going on there. It kind of reminds me of a new version of the anthracite. And then what kind of throws me off a little bit is the outsole. So the outsole will have like a blue icy translucent tint. That could be due to helping them not age as fast. But yeah, I just thought the sole was a little bit interesting in comparison to the upper. But yes, you could expect something very similar to this to be released. And as for a specific release date, we don't have one, but holiday 2025 is when they're expected to drop, which means a release will take place between October and December. Also, the retail price should be $230, although it could jump up to $240. Moving on to Jordan Brand, and I know some people do not like the Air Jordan 4 RM, but I do know there's a good amount of people who do like the model as well. Now, we have a new colorway dropping soon, and it's known as University Blue. The official colorway on these is white, summit gray, and University Blue. Now, in my opinion, these are clean, and if this was an Air Jordan 4, more than likely they're going to sell pretty well. But to go over the pair, it features white across the upper with summit gray suede on the overlays. Now, allowing this pair to stand out is University Blue, which accents the top of the tongue, fills in the upper part of the midsole, Nike Air on the heel, and the insoles. We also have the Jumpman in red on the tongue and insoles, and then mostly white covers the sole, but we do have gum detailing, which in my opinion is a really nice touch. Now, as for the release date, this pair is supposed to drop spring 2025, which means a release should be taking place soon, and the retail price is $150. Official images popped up of the Air Jordan 3 Valentine's Day. Now, these are pretty nice in hand. I recently dropped a short video on them, so if you want to check that out, there will be a link in the description below. Now, although they're nice and they use different materials, does it really justify the $215 retail price? In my opinion, no, or you can just judge from these photos. Now, Nike's actually calling them treat yourself. So one of the things that I really like about the shoes is actually the packaging. So it's done in all red, but the tissue paper, it features the Jumpman and hearts, which is also done in red. So I'll include an image of the box so you guys at least know that. And overall, the materials are a bit nicer. I still don't think it justifies the $215 retail price, in my opinion. Now, for those that don't know, this is a women's release, and they were recently pushed forward. So they were supposed to drop, I believe, on February 4th, but the new release date is February 1st. And like I mentioned, the retail price is $215. Official images popped up of the Air Jordan 6 Doernbecher, and we're only a couple days away until the actual release. And this Air Jordan 6 is designed by Jillian Beagley. So to read a little bit of background information about her shoes, I'm going to read from the Sneakers app. As part of the Doernbecher Freestyle program, which gives young patients the opportunity to work with our design team, Jillian created an Air Jordan 6 that's full of fun surprises. The mismatched toe boxes fade with wear to reveal new colors, and interchangeable patches celebrate some of her favorite things. Mix them up to suit your mood. Now, I didn't know that the toe box actually wears away, so that's some new information right there. And an embroidered message on the toes honors the organ donor who gave Jillian a second chance at life. Heart-shaped perforations draw inspiration from Jillian's desire to live life with kindness. Jillian adorned these sneakers with a few of her favorite things: basketballs, a tumbler, a lacrosse stick, and a cucumber slice. Each comes as an interchangeable patch, letting you style your shoes your way. Now, the rest of this just gives some information about Doernbecher and Nike's partnership starting back in 2004. But this pair will also come with special packaging, just like the entire collection. Now, as most of you know, the release date is only a few days away, which will take place on January 25th. And surprisingly to me, the retail price is $200. I thought it was going to be a bit more. But yeah, the retail price is $200. Now, I do know they'll be available on the Sneakers app as well as DTLR. I haven't seen other stores yet, but then again, I haven't really looked into it. But those two locations, you'll for sure be able to at least try to buy this pair and others from the collection. New images popped up of the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Obsidian. Now, these are retailer photos, so what you see here is what you can expect. And I believe these are from Size. It's either Size or JD Sports. I forgot to write down what the actual source was, but it's either one of the two. Now, I remember the high top version had so much hype for them. And don't get me wrong, it's definitely a dope shoe. And now, as Jordan Brand is leaning towards dropping more low top shoes, we're seeing more high top colorways dropping as lows. Now, they've done this in the past, I know that, but it seems that as of late, they're doing it more, which in my opinion does make sense. If the colorway was popular at one point and it still has some good resale price, But now lows are actually a more popular silhouette compared to the high top. Then why not place it on the low? It just makes sense to me. But anyways, I wanted to showcase the new photos. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And they're scheduled to drop on March 22nd for $140. All right, so we got some clear photos of the A Ma Maniere Air Jordan 3 Diffused Blue. These come from GOAT, and I do like GOAT's images. They're always clean and nice. And while I show off these photos, I did want to talk about something regarding this shoe. You know, it's no surprise that a lot of people get shoes early. People tend to, resell those shoes, and that's kind of part of the community as it is for now. I know people don't like resellers, but honestly, they're not going anywhere. If anybody can make a profit, why would they leave? But one thing I'm noticing is that a lot of these resellers locally are getting full-size runs months, and I mean months in advance. And everybody is saying, oh, backdoor this, backdoor that. And the thing is, with this shoe in particular, they're not even at retailers yet for them to backdoor them. So in no way am I defending stores, because I do know backdooring happens a lot, and it does. But there's quite a few shoes that aren't actually backdoored, but they're stolen. This being one of them, as well as the Air Jordan 1 High 85 Bred. And recently I heard that a bunch of Air Jordan 4 PEs were also stolen. Shout out to Mr. Unloved Ones on that. But yes, basically these pairs are stolen, and they're not stolen from these boutiques or stores. They're stolen straight from Nike. Some of you already know how it is, so I'm not saying anything new here. It's just that everybody's saying backdoor and pointing fingers at retailers, and it's not the retailers. Not in this case. So I decided to try to jump down a rabbit hole about this whole situation and go the route. And currently, I am talking to some resellers behind the scenes. Now, if anybody watching this video has access and is a reseller and you would like to talk for a video, you can always message me at SneakerFiles. Now, we can do this one of two ways. One, I can blur your voice. I can change it so nobody knows who you are. And of course, everything will stay between you and I as far as names and situations and things like that. And again, I don't want anybody hitting me up and want to snitch on themselves or their connects. That's not what I'm asking. I'm just asking if anybody is willing to talk about the ins and outs without giving me names, about giving me locations, anything like that. But basically the process of what goes on behind the scenes of all this. This isn't a video to mess anybody's money up if that's what they do. It's just to give a better understanding to the public. And basically in 2025, I kind of want to start doing documentary style videos. I felt like I somewhat did that on my recent Air Jordan 1 High 85 Bred video, which I thought was really fun in my opinion. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. So yeah, if you're watching this and you're a reseller that is moving a lot of product and you would like to talk, even if you don't want to do an interview, if you want to point me in the right direction, I always appreciate it. And again, no way, shape, or form am I going to leak any personal information of anybody giving me the information or anybody we're speaking of. We'll change names, we'll do the whole thing. But I just want to throw that out there in case anybody watching would like to help out. But yes, off of that, this shoe will drop on March 15th, and the retail price is $225. Before I start running down the shoe, there is a very strong possibility I'm going to mispronounce some things, but I did go to Google and try my best, so I'm just giving you a heads up here. But we have a first look at the Air Jordan 1 High OG Xuanwu. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Again, I do apologize if I mispronounced it. And this pair is expected to drop in February 2025, and it celebrates the year of the snake and will be limited to 3,399 pairs. Now, more than likely, these are going to only drop in China, but doing a little bit of digging, Xuanwu is one of the 4 divine beasts in Chinese mythology. Xuanwu represents the north, winter, and the water, and is known as a turtle snake. Now, just to read from Wikipedia, because there's like a totally different stories that I'm seeing on other outlets about Xuanwu and what I looked up. Xuanwu lost his stomach and intestines while he was washing them in the river. Now that's crazy in itself. The Jade Emperor was moved by his sincerity and determination to clear his sins and made him an immortal with the title Xiantin Shangdi. Again, I apologize if I mispronounced it. After he became an immortal, his stomach and intestines absorbed the essence of the earth. His viscera transformed into a demonic turtle and a demonic snake, who started to hurt people. No one could subdue the demonic animals. Eventually, Xuanwu returned to Earth to subdue them. After defeating them, he later used them as his subordinates. So that story is pretty cool. It's the first time I heard about it, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of background about that, so that's what goes into this pair. But the shoes are dressed in black, cream, and multicolor. Now on the overlays, it features a snakeskin texture, which of course nods to Year of the Snake and the demonic turtle snake. And it also has like gold spray across it. Black cowhide leather lands on the tongue, collars, and even the laces. Now we have very intricate details on the swoosh logos, wings, and around the heels. And if you look closely on that, it displays wings, clouds, and peaches. Now the pair will also come with 24 karat gold plating outlining the swoosh and on the lace tips. Other details include cell on the midsole and a translucent outsole, and it kind of has like a fiery like design on the outsole. Each pair comes in a black and gold classic Air Jordan 1 box, but the shoes are placed in a gold bag. So like I mentioned, these are going to be limited, only 3,399 pairs available. Each pair will be individually numbered on the inside of the tongue. Now the retail price will not be cheap on these, and they're going to cost you $355. Also, it looks like these are only going to drop in China. So if you live outside of that, unless you have a connection over there, you're going to pay probably a pretty high resale price. And we don't have a specific release date, but it's being reported February, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just started to pop up by the end of January. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on this pair down below. So there's a couple shoes that I've featured quite a bit in the last several videos, and you know, I don't like oversaturating the videos with one shoe, meaning I don't like to share all these new images in multiple videos because it kind of takes away from the overall video, in my opinion. But I do know a lot of people want to see these new images and briefly talk about the shoes. So here we have new photos of the Air Jordan 12 flu game, and in my opinion, these are our best photos as of yet. And it seems that with every new set of images, the shape gets a little bit better. I don't know what it is, but you could still see the somewhat of an indent by the second eyelet. So it's still present. I don't know if this individual who got the shoes early got a really good pair or just loosened them up and then gave it some time. But I will say these images actually have me more excited about the release. A few of these new looks that we've been getting, they've been really, really bad in my opinion. And while we don't have a ton of new photos, we have just enough just to show off some of the different angles and things like that. But I will say, I am excited about them, even though the shape isn't perfect. And a lot of these shoes, the shapes aren't perfect. But again, I am excited. This is a shoe that will be a definite pickup. But just to ask you guys, I know a lot of people are excited about the flu games dropping, but as you know, later in the year, we have the Taxi Air Jordan 12 returning. Which of the two are you more excited for? For me, I think it's going to be the Taxi 12. Don't get me wrong, I really like the flu game, but I do own quite a few pairs of the flu game Air Jordan 12. And it's been a lot longer since we've seen the Taxi return, and that's just a clean colorway also. So for me, it's going to be an edge to the Taxi pair, although I plan on picking both up. Now, as for the release details, currently they're scheduled to drop on March 1st. Now, that date could change, but that's what it's looking like for now, and the retail price will be $210. Speaking of new photos, again, we have new photos of the Air Jordan 4 White Cement. Now, these are retailer images, and they're from JD Sports. Now, I did edit the background, so the cement print you see, I added that in. But as for the shoes itself, that's from JD Sports. Now, in my previous video, a lot of people made a comment about it kind of having a yellow tint on the heel tab, and I didn't notice that when I initially talked about the shoes. But I did go back and look, and even it's present in these images, you kind of have an age tint to it. Now, I don't think that's due to the lighting because these are two different sets of photos. And to my knowledge, I don't believe the OG pair had an aged-like look on the heel tab. I could be wrong on that, so let me know down below. Now, these aren't going to be reimagined. They're not part of the reimagined series. I'm not really sure why the tint is there. Now, this could be an early sample because I do know Jordan Brand, they'll send retailers samples to take pictures of and things like that, and that's maybe why we're seeing it. Or this could actually just be how the retail pair is going to come. Now, I don't know why. Again, it's slightly, and I mean slightly aged. You can kind of see it too on the winged eyelet. You can definitely tell there's a difference between the midsole, the winged eyelets, and the heel tab. Now, I don't mind this at all. I just wanted to make note of it because I saw other people talking about it, and when they started talking about it, that's when I officially noticed it. Either way, it's 100% pickup for me. I feel like the overall shape and a lot of these details that went into the shoe is closer to the OG. They got the shape a lot better. The mesh on it, closer to the OG. Even the Nike Air with the little bit of paint splatter, that's like the OG and the 99 pair. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about the somewhat of an aged tint. Like I mentioned, I know some of you did point that out, but for the others that haven't, what is your thoughts? Now, as for the release date, May 24th is when they're scheduled to drop, and the retail price is $225. You remember when I said earlier in the video that Nike and Jordan Brand is going to release more shoes with camo? Well, during the holiday 2025 season, the Air Jordan 3 Realtree Camo will be released. Now, what's shown is a mock-up. I'm not sure how they're going to look, but I do have some additional details. Now, the shoe from Jordan Brand was labeled Realtree Camo, so they're going to feature something similar to this. As some of you might remember, Jordan Brand released the Jordan Airship Realtree Camo in December 2023. This design pattern was used across the base. Now, I'm not sure exactly how they're going to use it on the threes. It could run across the base. It could just be used around the toe and heel, or it could be placed all across the upper. Now, the official colorway on these is medium olive, sequoia, neutral olive, cell, and total crimson. Now, what's interesting about this shoe is the style code. So, the first 6 digits of the style code is DN3707. That part of the style code is also linked to the Air Jordan 3 Black Cement and other shoes with Nike Air branding. So there's a possibility that this pair could have Nike Air branding. Now, I had the mock-up done in collaboration with Z Sneakerhead Z to use the Jumpman because that part hasn't been confirmed yet. So I didn't want to put it out that they're going to feature Nike Air if it's not 100% confirmed. But there is a possibility since part of the style code is linked to that direct mold. These are definitely going to be interesting in my opinion. Of course, it really depends on how the final product is released, but at the very minimum, we know that the Realtree Camo Air Jordan 3 is dropping. Now, as for a specific release date, unfortunately, I don't have that, but they're going to drop holiday 2025, which means a release will take place between October and December, and unfortunately, I don't have a retail price. As most of you already know, the Air Jordan 11 Low Bred will be released in April 2025. This particular version resembles that of Michael Jordan's 1996 NBA Finals PE. Now, recently, new photos popped up giving us a better look. Prior to this, the photos were really bad. In my opinion, these images aren't that great as well, but it is better than what we saw prior to. Now, with these images, we could see that the upper part of the patent leather, it has exposed white detailing. Now, that resembles the OG, not the OG Low because it never released, but the mid/high, whatever you want to call it, that version featured the white edging around the patent leather. And when they returned in 2019, we also saw that as well. Yes, the patent leather will be high. I know a lot of people say it should be a low cut patent leather, and personally, I don't mind it being high. Even on the lows, I think it looks good in my opinion. And overall, I think these are going to be a really good release. I think a lot of people are going to go after them and pick them up. The Air Jordan 11 Space Jam did very well in my opinion. I couldn't find a pair of those, but then again, I just casually looked when I went out to stores and things like that. So I'm sure if I really tried to go after them when they dropped, I would have landed a pair. And I kind of think that will be the same situation with this. If there was a mid/high, they would sell instantly. But since it's a low, it'll sell still, but not as good as the mid or high. Now in 2015, Jordan Brand did release a variation of the Bred Air Jordan 11 Low, but it was different. It featured red on the liner, but MJ actually wore a PE version of that low top as well. So both pairs are considered a PE. It's just that this pair is just closer to the OG blocking. Like always, let me know your thoughts down below, and they are scheduled to drop on April 26th for $190. Man, this pair is incredible in my opinion, and I'm going to give you all the details on this shoe. But for those who don't know, Infinite Archives is dropping 2 colorways of the Air Jordan 17 Low. I talked about this a couple months back, and recently we received a first look at one of those colorways. Now I'm pretty sure this is the metallic silver pair. As you can see, some of the details around this shoe has metallic silver. There's also a metallic copper version. Now the specific color scheme that was provided to me is beach, metallic silver, and black. That's the pair shown. And then the second pair is beach, metallic copper, and black. Now the shade missing from the color description is purple. Now I think that brings the shoe to life. This makes it so much better. And the purple is placed on part of the midsole, and it looks like there's a little label on the ankle. So we have one image that's like a direct shot of the shoes, and then we have some photos of them on feet. When the images first leaked of them on feet, I thought it could be a royal blue, but no, the image definitely confirms that it's purple. It's going to be the first image that I use. And why I like these so much is because it reminds me of Mike Bibby's Air Jordan 17 Low PEs. For those that don't know, I am from Sacramento, grew up watching the Kings, still watch the Kings, and this pair reminds me a lot of the Bibby PE. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to ever own the Bibby PE. I don't think I will. I've tried to track down some of them at one point, especially the 14 lows, but they're just way out of my budget. So these will have to do, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Now, as you can see, the rest of the shoes feature a clean color blocking, nothing over the top, no crazy designs or anything like that. I think that's why I like it. The little label, although we can't read it, probably reads Infinite Archives. And I wonder if the second colorway will feature purple as well, or if they're going to use a different shade on that. Because obviously purple was left out of the official color description. It could have been intentional for leaks and things like that. But yeah, these are 100% pickup. Now, more than likely these are going to be limited. Most collabs are. And as for a release date, they're expected to drop fall 2025, which means the release will take place between July and September. And just a heads up, I know some people have been commenting lately saying, hey, that's not fall, that's actually summer. Well, when I mention these seasons, these are for Jordan Brand. So just a rundown. For Jordan Brand's collections and Nike, spring runs from January to March, summer runs from April to June, fall runs from July to September, and then holiday runs from October to December. And as for the retail price, it's said to be $300, although I think it might be more than that, but unfortunately I can't confirm that. Also, I can't confirm if they're going to come with special packaging. I hope at $300 they do, but if they don't, I definitely don't mind them knocking the retail price down. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on this pair down below. For me, 100% pickup. And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. One more thing, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. Now, speaking of new videos this week, this is probably going to be it. Over the weekend, I'm going to be working on a couple reviews. I just picked up the Air Jordan 5 Black Metallic Reimagined, and those are really nice in my opinion. So I do plan on dropping that video next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to drop that Monday or a news video. It really depends on if I get more news. Unfortunately, I dropped this a day late, which if I had dropped this Thursday, I might have racked up enough news for Monday, but we'll see. Either way, the Air Jordan 5 Black Metallic Reimagined video is coming out next week sometime. And of course, I'm going to drop some shorts. But anyways, for this video, let me know what you liked or disliked down in the comment section below. As well, if you have any questions, make sure to leave that down below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.